This is a Geek History of Time,
where we connect nerdery to the real world. I'm Ed Blaylock. I'm a world history teacher. I'm a father of a 9-month-old little boy. And I have been a geek since at least the 6th grade when my father gave me a copy of Have Spacesuit Will Travel by Robert A. Heinlein.
Wow. I'm Damian Harmony. I am a Latin teacher, formerly a history teacher at the high school level. I am a father of two, count them two, little ginger geeks who one is almost 9 and the other one is 6 and into painting miniatures. I'm raising them to be decent before anything else, which is why I'm buying them all kinds of books on monsters so they can understand the anthropology of the things that they're slaughtering.
I like it.
I've been a geek for at least since I was 4, and your book just reminded me of one that my mom got me from the library at one point. It was called Space Guys in Sports Coats.
Nice.
It was just fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good title.
Yeah. You reading any books?
I am still working my way through Home, A History of Domesticity.
Okay.
And I am also going to plug the Sano Ichiro series of mysteries by Laura Jo Rowland. Mm-hmm. It's a mystery series, obviously set in the Tokugawa era of Japan.
Nice.
In which the main character is a low-ranking samurai who winds up getting elevated to a very specialized position as investigator of people, places, and things.
Oh, very nice. Personally, I have taken to reading comic books. I just read last night the very first appearance of Lizard in Spider-Man.
Wow.
Yeah. Spider-Man went to the Everglades, which is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun. And what I'm doing is I'm reading them in publication order from the very beginning. So I started with the Fantastic Four, and as soon as Spider-Man started, I started reading that and the Fantastic Four. And then as soon as the Avengers kick in, and so on and so on. I'm not reading like the Journey into Mystery, the Thor, and the Ant-Man stuff. I'm just going with the main titles because it's a lot to read, and I've got kids.
Yeah.
But I also just started re-watching the Chronicles of Riddick, that whole series. Yeah. I consider movies to be part of literature, and I'm just loving me the Pitch Black, so I'll probably finish that tonight.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
So, Ed, you remember last time when we talked about, I promised to talk about wrestling?
Yeah, and we never got to wrestling because I was too busy ranting and flipping you off about the verbal chicanery carried out by Lost Cause historians.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna.
Man, it pisses me the hell off.
We're gonna get right back to it. To get to the wrestling, we've got to get through the Lost Cause.
Oh, God Almighty!
Yeah.
All right.
So everything I said last week.
I took my blood pressure medication today. We'll be okay.
Everything I said will tie into wrestling, but first I want to go back to the war. So I'm gonna do that a lot. I'll go forward, comb back. Go forward, comb back. So. Southerners thought that since they had most of the military academies, which was true, they had a long tradition of military service and brilliance, also true.
I'm gonna say service.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say a long record of generals with a string of successes.
Okay, good point.
As somebody who is a hobbyist military historian, brilliance is a bar I'm not going
vis-a-vis Northern American generals.
Vis-a-vis the standard of what counts as brilliance over the course of military history.
Oh, okay. Fair. I would say compared to the North.
Oh, yeah. Well, compared to the North, just because of the cultural differences,
Absolutely. And also, they had a crop of gentlemen that was unseen in the North because you didn't have plantation slavery in the North. And they thought they'd win.
Yeah. Oh, well.
They did think they'd win. And in many ways, they didn't stand a goddamn chance. They might have scored an early round knockout blow at first, but they didn't. And so then it was just a matter of when. Yeah.
What as, again, a hobbyist military historian, and I'm going to try to keep this short, I promise, the assumptions that were made by both sides were... entirely pejorative. Mm-hmm. Basically, both sides thought they were going to win because the other side was a bunch of losers.
Yes.
And it is true that culturally the South had an edge.
Because they had a culture of violence.
They have but the roots of that violence, it also needs to be pointed out, came from the fact that they lived in constant terror of slave revolt.
Yeah.
And so for men in the South, service in the militia was an important part of their lives that they took very seriously because, like the Spartans, they had an underclass that they needed to make sure could not rise up and kill them in their sleep.
And there had been inklings of that throughout the early 19th century. Whereas in the North, their biggest fear was Native Americans. But by the 1860s, that is farther west. They've been moved west by Southerners who became presidents, quite honestly.
Yes, they'd all been moved out to the territories in what was then the far west.
Yeah.
And so militia service was something that men did, but it was,
reservist.
You get together. It was reservist. You get together on the weekend, you drill for a little while, and then everybody has a beer.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in the North, again, they had West Point was like the only academy they could really claim to control.
Right.
And
even that had a Southern culture.
Had a very profoundly Southern culture. And so, militarily, the biggest thing the North had going for them was the Navy.
Yeah.
Go Navy, by the way. Hi, Dad. How you doing? So it was very much a situation where, looking at it at the beginning, if you were to listen to both sides bragging about how they're going to whip the other side, the side that you kind of looked at and said, these guys, these
are fighters.
They're full of it, but they're less full of it than the other guys.
Right.
Would be the Southerners.
Well, and part of that also is an American culture thing of focusing on the individual. The South had more individual, like it's kind of like you have Klingons versus the Federation. The Federation's gonna win.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of nameless, faceless ensigns.
In the long run, the Federation is going to win, but it's going to be really ugly.
Yeah, and Klingon's going to win some really bloody battles.
And the Klingons
could break your will.
Yeah. You're
also
right.
very honor-based society.
Also very, yes.
But yeah, they thought their culture was superior, and they thought that they fought with honor, which I get a kick out of. But, whenever you say you fight with honor, you get to define what that honor is, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and I think, again, as the guy who is military history is a big deal, both sides fought in essentially the same way. What fighting in this era consisted of, this is Napoleonic maneuver tactics.
Tied to a new tactic, though, trenches.
Well,
this is where
later in the
World
war.
War I gets its ideas.
Later in the war. At the beginning of the war, they're still using Napoleonic tactics, which was an extension of an evolution of tactics that had been used, during the Revolution, which dates back to the beginnings of firearms, which is everybody lines up, you march at the enemy, you get within range, first rank fire, fall back, second rank fire, fall back, reload, and you continue doing that until either you have a bayonet charge, to close things out because you're too close to do anything else.
Someone breaks ranks,
or somebody breaks and runs. Yeah. And it's funny, in the one English section I'm teaching right now, we just read Ray Bradbury's The Drummer Boy of Shiloh.
Okay.
And one of the things it talks about is a general, as a character in the story, talking to the main character, the drummer boy, who says, "We'll all fight the same way. Show up, show the breast, and say thank you, and go on our way." And that's really what it was. The definition of what you did as a soldier was you stood your ground.
Right.
And when the bullets came flying, what made you honorable, what made you a man, was not freaking out and running away like a sensible person would.
Right.
And so when the Southerners make this big deal about, they fought with honor, the thing is, they fought with a lot of courage, but so did the Northerners, and at the beginning of the war, of course, there were a number of circumstances where half-trained Northern armies didn't hold out. And so the Southerners got this opinion of themselves that they were the brave ones, they were the honorable ones.
They're also fighting on their own territory.
They're fighting on their own turf, and, they They engaged in, the rebel charge, the rebel yell was their primary thing.
Right.
Very, by the way, speaking of World War I, very post-World War I French.
Yep.
Or pre-World War I French that, it's going to be the
Elan. Yep.
And the fighting spirit of our men that's going to carry us through.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I guess what I'm saying is there's kind of something to that, but again, you're denigrating the North.
Yeah.
Which talking outside of recording, that's one of the things that pisses me off the most about this historiographic movement is it basically it backhandedly insults the North.
By equalizing the sides, they're at the same time setting themselves above it.
Yes.
They're equivocating. They're not equalizing.
Yeah.
Now, spoiler alert, the South loses.
Big. Hard.
When they lost, there becomes this huge need for psychological self-preservation.
Because of Big Willie T.
Yeah.
William Tecumseh, baby. My man.
A former history teacher.
Yep.
Look in those eyes.
Damn right.
So it's kind of impossible to ignore that you lost a war, especially when there's northern troops occupying you.
Yeah.
So how do you keep this sense of cultural superiority when you fought and lost a war to keep black people as slaves? Very simply, you explain it away. The North didn't win because their cause was righteous. No. They won because they had an overwhelming horde. And you could even throw some racial shit in there about Irish, if you want. They won because the South wouldn't stoop to dishonoring themselves the way the North did by using foreigners. They won because the North cheated by having a better economy, by choking them off from trade, by cheating in military encounters, by using terrorism.
Cheating?
Yeah, that's how they won. Cheating. This whole bit that I'm telling you absolutely ties into wrestling.
Cheating.
It's cheating.
I'm sorry.
Cheating.
We're talking about war.
Yeah,
right?
cheating. There are rules, my friend. There are rules.
Yeah.
And the North broke them all in order to win.
I'm pretty sure nobody in the North serrated a bayonet. I'm just going to say, knowing a little bit about the Geneva Conventions and what actual rules of war are.
Well, those don't come around until later.
I know.
So the South needed this to be true, even right after the war.
Definitely.
So that,
well, especially right after the war.
Yeah.
So that part Altar of the Nation actually talks about that bit remarkably well as well. But
so their children and grandchildren would have a, quote, proper narrative of the war that they'd lost.
Proper. All right.
Yeah. Someday we're going to do an episode on Serenity. And this will come back. Another problem right after the war is that the South was occupied by Northern armies, like I said, which were just there to disrupt the Southern way of life.
Right.
White supremacy, black subservience.
Yeah.
Northern soldiers. They're just
meddling.
Yeah.
Just meddling goddamn Yankees.
Yeah. Carpetbaggers.
Yeah. Carpet different.
A little different.
Soldiers weren't carpet, but anyway.
But they did everything they could to get the North out of the South, but you have these outsiders who are in charge, upsetting God's plan. You might remember a cornerstone. So there's an historian named Roland Osterweiss, and he says that the legend of the Lost Cause began as mostly a literary expression of the despair of a bitter, defeated people over a lost identity.
I like this guy.
I
like him already.
It was a landscape dotted with the figures drawn mainly out of the past. The chivalric planter, the magnolia-scented Southern belle, the good gray Confederate veteran, once a knight of the field and saddle, an obliging old Uncle Remus. All these, while quickly enveloped in a golden haze, became very real to the people of the South, who found the symbols useful in the reconstituting of their shattered civilization. They perpetuated the ideas of the old South and brought a sense of comfort to the new. The North didn't give a shit. They just wanted to move on. So it becomes this, fine, whatever you need to tell yourself, kind of nodding along. Shut up, come on.
Shut up, yeah.
Let them vote. Fuck off. But the problem...
you just managed to completely encapsulate Reconstruction and the failure of Reconstruction in 10 words.
Yeah.
10 words or less.
I am nothing if not glib. Sometimes I'm only glib.
Whatever you need to tell yourself, let him vote. Just fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's like, I could use that to teach the whole arc.
Do it.
Do
it. Make that part of the... Whatever you need to tell yourself. Let him vote. Fuck off.
Oh, God.
There's your compromise right there.
I don't know if anybody else is ever going to laugh this hard at anything we say, but
not.
oh my God.
Well, one of the listeners might.
Yeah, right.
Half the audience. So the problem with this is that this narrative shifts quickly as the dominant narrative. And so future historians, which I love that term, future historians, end up being taught this as canon, and it's unquestionable. It becomes the landscape.
Yeah.
Some
throughout the country.
Some historians were onto these fuckers from the beginning, though. For instance, in 1868, George Henry Thomas, a general of the North from Virginia, writes.
He had a bone to pick, though.
He said, oh boy howdy. The greatest efforts made by the defeated insurgents since the close of the war have been to promulgate the idea that the cause of liberty, justice, humanity, equality, and all the calendar of virtues of freedom suffered violence and wrong when the effort for Southern independence failed. This is, of course, intended as a species of political cant, whereby the crimes of treason might be covered with the counterfeit varnish of patriotism.
I love this guy.
It's so weird that he wrote in 1868 about 2018. So that the precipitators of the rebellion might go down in history, hand in hand with the defenders of the government. Lock her up. Thus wiping out with their own hands their own stains. A species of self-forgiveness amazing in its effrontery, which totally reminds me of you. That phrase.
Oh, yeah.
Putting
that phrase together would,
When
why use a $5 word when a $10 word is available?
Oh, God, yeah. When it is considered that the life and property justly forfeited by the laws of the country, of war, and of nations, through the magnanimity, here's why you don't use a $10 word, of the government and its people, was not exacted from them. So in other words, we let them get away with thinking they're bullshit by not truly punishing them afterwards. My dad would 100% agree.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now here's where we get into some of my favorite movies.
Okay.
Buster Keaton.
Okay.
If you look at early cinema, Buster Keaton's the general. I don't like Birth of a Nation subject-wise, but it was the Matrix of its time. They figured out you could move the camera.
Yeah.
Griffith's Birth of a Nation, you see the impact of Lost Cause. So these movies come out in 1915.
Huge big way,
right? The protagonists are always Southern, full of pluck, and rarely able to win through most of the film. I want you to remember that when I get to the wrestling.
Rarely able to win.
Rarely able to win through most of the film. Birth of a Nation even goes so far as to show our original sin of slavery as being the problem. Not because slavery is bad, but because it brought black people here. Again, there's that drop of truth you were talking about.
There's a special place currently reserved in hell for D.W. Griffith. I just want to point out. I know.
Yeah.
I know. You
watch his films, you're watching snuff films.
Yeah, you are. I could get into theology about it, but don't.
Yeah. The 3 hours of that movie show all kinds.
Horrible, evil motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
All kinds of lost cause ideology, complete with the KKK saving white folks in the South from mixed race marriage.
Okay.
Saves them from black barbarism, including a scene that one of my favorite movies, The Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis, takes almost frame for frame. So you've seen that movie.
A long time ago.
Okay, so Wes Studi, the darker of the Indians. So he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But Wes Studi kills the Mohican, the one who's the son. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
The pretty one.
Yeah.
That the younger sister's in love with. Kills the shit out of him. I mean, it's a really powerful scene. The music is beautiful. There's a lot of run. Oh my! I get goosebumps thinking about it. I want to buy that movie now. He kills him. The woman who was in love with him, the younger sister of what's her name, Mary Stuart Masterson. I think that's who was in it.
I think it was. Yeah.
Or Madeline Stowe. Madeline Stowe.
Yeah.
All those M names.
Yeah.
She steps out onto a rock, and he looks at her, and she looks at him, and she's at the edge of a rock, and he looks at her, and he beckons her to come back. still menace on his face, the blood of the man that she loved on his face. And she looks at him, and she looks down, and she jumps.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful, gut-wrenching scene.
Taken frame for frame.
Frame for frame. Because Gus, the black guy, wants to rape the little sister of the main character's main squeeze. Really kind of ruins it.
Kind of.
Thank God for the music, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll show it to you. It's something. Anyway, so the KKK is saving people from these things and saving them from northern incompetence or northern predation.
Yeah.
President Woodrow Wilson, you may have heard of him, the former president of Princeton University, the first PhD historian president. Mm-hmm. He kept Princeton, in New Jersey, by the way, segregated the whole time he was there, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, Wilson was...
He instituted federal job segregation upon his inauguration. He said that the movie was so horribly true.
You know, there's another special place in hell reserved for Woodrow Wilson.
Oh,
It's it's amazing how somebody who could, on one hand, be prescient and progressive could also be such a complete dickbag.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Carrying on.
Chief Justice Edward Douglas White went to see it once he was told, not incidentally, but once he was told that it was all about how the KKK saved the South, he was like, oh, I want to see that because I'd been in the KKK when I was younger. Now, 25 years after that, 25 years after 1915 is 1939.
Yeah.
Do you know what movie comes out in 1939? Gone with the Wind.
Oh, fuck.
It's a beautiful film, by the way. It is gorgeous, and this time it's in color. I mean, it is the highest grossing film of all time if you adjust for all the things.
Yeah,
most people saw it, like the most tickets had ever been sold were sold to see that. It's also really goddamn long. Apparently, shit about the South never gets edited.
I need to interject here.
Sure.
About Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
My wife loves the book.
Mm-hmm.
Loves the book.
I had a cousin once who was named after the plantation.
Oh God. So my wife, like I said, loves the book.
Mm-hmm.
My advanced U.S. history teacher in junior year of high school was herself originally from someplace in the Confederacy. And in so many great ways, she was an amazing history teacher, and I want to model my pedagogy off of her in a great many ways. However, we got a modified Lost Cause curriculum from her, and she showed us we had to sit through Gone with the Wind in fucking history class.
Yeah.
And I have never, before or since, wanted to strangle the protagonist of a movie.
Which one, the rapist or the racist?
Yes. Although, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got to understand.
Yeah.
Rhett Butler, to me, at least had the dubious virtue of looking Scarlett in the face and telling her she was full of shit.
Yeah.
Just like, because the thing is, throughout the entire movie, she has this completely false sense of wounded, like, victimhood.
Wow, it's almost as though she's the lost cause wrapped up in a person. And just whines about fucking everything. And she pines. God is my witness.
She pines after Ashley. Who, I mean, to me, watching the movie as a junior in high school, I'm like, he's a milquetoast.
Right.
Oh my God. And just whines and bitches and is catty at her sister who actually gets the guy. And it's just, nasty in so many ways. And I spent the first 2 days that we had to watch this movie waiting for the moment where Clark Gable would look at her and say, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I was waiting because that moment was going to be so cathartic for me.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Because every because every clip I'd ever seen was him saying that and walking away. Right?
No,
right?
no.
So no, what happens is he says, Franklin, my dear, I don't give a damn. He leaves, and then the movie goes on for like 20 more goddamn minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, where's my catharsis?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I want to throw this bitch the finger and leave. Like, oh my God.
So, you know what that movie had in it?
Massive, horrible racism.
Yeah.
The ugliest stereotypes. I want to say the ugliest stereotypes consigned to celluloid, but I know I'm probably wrong. But
not even the top 10.
Horrible, yeah.
Yeah.
And depictions of Union soldiers as just like
mindless gorillas.
Like where did that where
think,
did that come from?
Here's the weird thing: you're mispronouncing Southern Pride.
Yeah, heritage, not hate.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Also, the movie Gone with the Wind was lifted in so many ways from the historiography at that time, which was lifted in so many ways from the D.W. Griffith movie.
Yeah.
That movie impacted how history was written thereafter. So anything dealing with the South, Reconstruction, the Civil War, racism was tied, had its
roots.
Lineage. Yeah, its roots.
Yeah, it's DNA.
Carved out of D.W. Griffith's movie. It became the accepted, normal, and popular history, as movies so often do. In the 1940s and in the 1960s, even though a lot of things had changed, a lot of things stayed the same. Jim Crow was incredibly entrenched in the South. And for a few generations, carnivals and exhibitions are coming to all kinds of towns. And that's where wrestling comes in.
Woot!
Yep.
All right.
So in our next episode, this is going to be a short one, but in our next episode, we are going to talk about the history of pro wrestling, and I'm going to geek out like a motherfucker.
I'm so looking forward
oh
to that.
My God. It's going to be amazing. And it's also really goddamn sad.
Okay.
So far, what have you gotten out of this?
Well, that I have an abiding and eternal hatred for Scarlett O'Hara. I mean that
you just reaffirmed it.
That'll never die. I reaffirmed that. I mean, you know, since we're both history teachers, the historiography surrounding the Civil War is something that, you know, we're aware of, you know, professionally as a thing.
Yeah.
But I had not heard the extent of Stevens' speech before. And that one, I mean, you know, you talked about, you know, me making it difficult for you because I could not stop myself from pantomiming kicking the shit out of him on the floor while you were reading it. The ability of my fellow humans to take whatever faith and use it to justify the most backward ass shit. Like, you know, like Jesus literally said, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, as you do unto the least of my brothers, you do to me.
Yep.
And they took that book, they took passages of scripture out of the same part of that, but it's not even Old Testament crap.
I know.
Well, actually, it is. It's quotation. It's referenced in the Gospels, but it is originally taken from the Old Testament. But you know, it's about the rebuilding of the nation of Israel.
Right.
You know, like the Hebrew people, the homeland of the Hebrew. That's what it's about. After their enslavement and exile in Babylon, and you're going to turn that around and use that as a justification
for slavery.
For chattel slavery.
Yeah.
Like, Moses wants to come back and kick your ass.
Yeah.
Like, all of the Hebrew prophets want to come back and kick your ass. And Jesus, who was a hardline pacifist, is going, you're really pushing it, motherfucker. like
he kind of wanted to leave the nail in his foot so he could put it up your ass.
Okay. Catch these wounded hands, motherfucker. You know, like, you know, and as somebody who consciously made the decision to become a Christian, specifically a Catholic Christian, as an adult, and really studied, this is what this is about.
Sure.
And made that decision based on, you know, that understanding, hearing that kind of twisting,
Yeah.
really, like, I have a hard time expressing in words, because all that wants to come out is this incoherent, Hulk smash kind of,
Yeah.
incoherent roar. But at the same time, I look at all the other shit that people use my faith or faith related to mine to justify.
Yeah.
And, I regularly wind up getting into it with people online who I'm like, okay, you can either be a Christian or you could believe Ayn Rand was right. You really can't do both. Because they're kind of, diametrically opposed. It's not really, and so being confronted with it like that directly and hearing,
and so baldly.
Hearing the smarmy, bold-faced, it's really amazing how, and then the fact that Stevens after the war tried to go like, oh yeah, no, it wasn't about that, no,
right? Oh, he was totally disingenuous.
Completely back.
It reminds me of when McCarthy died. Yeah, and people are like, oh well, at least he believed in what he did, and like everybody who knew him was like, no, he didn't. He didn't. That's the worst part.
He was a two-faced,
right? He was a
scheming, slimy con man.
Yeah, it's one thing, and it's terrible if someone believes in this shit.
Yeah,
but it's even more tragic that a con man caught the scent in the wind and sent 600,000 people to their deaths in order to try to protect keeping, what was it, 3 million people in bondage? Yeah. Like, it's that's even grosser. He wasn't even doing it for the money necessarily, It's like reading about Leopold II and how...
Speaking of special places in hell.
Yeah, boy howdy.
Yeah. Talking about fucking up an entire continent.
Also a guy obsessed with the size of his hands. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had forgotten about that little detail.
So, but yeah, it's... Here's the thing for me. I am not of a religious bend. No. I am staunchly anti-theistic, actually. Yeah. And I am bothered by the perversion of the language. Because to me, our words are all we've got. Yeah. Little w words. Yeah. That's all we've got. And so when you start making things that aren't facts into facts by calling them facts... Yeah. You don't get to do that. Yeah, well, I don't care what it's based on. That not okay. No.
Well, and it's a violation of reality. Yeah, it erodes,
and this is the only one that I get.
Yeah,
I don't have an afterlife.
So don't mess with that.
Right.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, next time I'm going to talk to you about pro wrestling. And we're going to go all the way back before the European Renaissance.
Oh, wow.
And then I will catch you all the way up to Stone Cold Steve Austin and beyond. So
awesome.
All right. So until next time, this is A Geek History of Time. You can follow us on Twitter at Geek History Time. You can follow me at Duh Harmony. And you can follow Ed at
E.H. Blaylock.
And until then, keep rolling your D20s, and I hope they come up 20.